first time when I got out of the hospital, and I'll tell you this, and I never will forget it. I went to this one repel-depel, and they had a retreat ceremony, which the Army is big on retreat. I don't know if you've ever seen one or not. It's when they lower the flag. Well, over there, we had to stand a retreat, and they played over there. They played the Star Spangled Banner first, and then God Save the King at that time, because they were the host country, and they were playing it. And I looked up. I'm sorry. Saw the flag, and I knew where I was going when I left there. And I looked at that, and I said, "That's home." And I just hope I'll see it again. I lucked out, but I mean, it was, I never will forget it. I don't know why, I just happened to look up. Well, they were playing the Star Spangled Banner at the time, not God Save the Queen, or King, which I wouldn't stand up for. But, I mean, it was just things like that. I don't know other things that I could possibly tell you, except it wasn't any fun, really and truly. I mean, I lost friends, and I just wish he'd have let me have my M1. But I don't know. I feel proud of my division, my regiment, my company. We were in the 115th Infantry, and of course all the units had a well, you didn't use the companies, anything like that. You had a name. We were Lagoon Red. First battalion was red, Lagoon Red. Second battalion was white, and third battalion was Lagoon Blue. And it's a tactical sign in case they pick you up on the radio, which they could, and then they couldn't tell who you were really, or didn't know. But we were Lagoon Red, and if you ever read this book, Clay Pigeons of St. Lo, that was our battalion. That's the one that or is closest to me. He mentions my company commander. I don't know, my company commander must have been hit 6 times, but well, he'd come back and 2-3 days later get hit again. And well, some of them are like that, you know, they get prime targets, I guess. But well, I'll tell you, the ones that do the fighting, which in the riflemen's, are your NCOs, your non-commissioned officers, your squad leaders. Your platoon leader, company commanders, very rarely they got in combat with you. And of course the generals, they were still back in London saying, "Go get them, guys," you know, and which we did. And but the NCOs were actually the ones that really, and you listened to them. You listened to them, you know, because they save your life, really. well, they got hit like everybody else at times, but still, they were your leaders. And you never can tell. Say you go out with 8 today, come back with 4 this afternoon, and you're the squad leader because you're the only ones left. But you know, you could fill all the things that they had, positions. We had riflemen in the squad, and the squad automatic weapon, which is a BAR, and scouts and things like that. They all had. Yes, sir.
But was there a segregated group?
Who?
Segregated.
At that time, the Army was not combined. It was they had colored troops, and they were usually stevedores unloading equipment and supplies from the ships. Now they had at least one tank battalion that was black, and it might have been more, but just one. They were, well, they never covered us, but we did have tank support, so they said. It was always funny. We might be somewhere overnight, and they'd pull up the tanks there, and the tankers never got out of their tanks. They were smart, but we would it'd come down from battalion that we were going to attack the next day. Just as soon as they heard that, those tankers, they would crank up those tank engines and sit there and rev them, rah, 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 and you hear the thing 20 miles away. That was, I guess, to tell the Germans that they weren't going to be there, so don't shoot at them. But tank treads squeak. I don't care where they are, whose they are, they squeak. And they would crank up their tanks, and we'd say, "Hey, what you doing?" "Gotta pull maintenance, gotta pull maintenance." Zoom, and that was the last we'd see of them. Yeah, always had to pull maintenance on them, which is understandable, but not at our expense, we thought. So, and of course, we did have, well, I will mention our artillery. Each regiment in the division, rifle regiment, had a battalion of field artillery behind supporting us. Each regiment had one, and then they had a 105s, and then there was the 4th battalion that had big 155s, howitzers. And remember, men, they have guns and they have howitzers. Howitzers fire in a big arc like that. Guns are on tanks. When they shoot at you, you don't know it until you hear it going past you down that way. I mean, they're high velocity, and they really whip them down. But the howitzers were primarily what they used against personnel. High velocity would be maybe anti-tank, stuff like that. And there are guns, howitzers, they're howitzers and guns. The guns are on tanks. The howitzers are the ones that shoot like that. Also, this is not a gun. You knew that? This is a rifle. And I can tell you how to tell the difference, but I won't.